So Ubisoft just recently, and I mean recently, I mean today, canceled a big game that they've been working on for years, and I mean years. And it was like it did close beta, which I actually took part in, and they told me I wasn't allowed to record anything, wasn't allowed to do anything when it came to this game. So we're going to talk about this game that's being canceled. So let's get into it. Ubisoft cancels The Division Heartland, the latest AAA free-to-play game Casualty. So this is definitely playing it because I played, like I said, the closed beta. They made me sign a long list like of DNA, NDAs, non-disclosure agreement. So I'm not going to talk too much about what I did in the game, but like I said, when I played it back a couple like 6, 7, 8 months ago, I thought it was pretty close to coming out. I guess not. So, anyways, we're going to get into it. Ubisoft has ended development in the Division Heartland, the free-to-play game set in the universe of Tom Clancy's The Division. If you guys haven't played The Division yet, I highly recommend it. The Division is actually a really, really great game. It's a fun franchise. It's a looter shooter. So, of course, you got a lot of PvE and a PvP area where you can go into and get a bunch of cool stuff. The company announced Wednesday the game was announced in 2021. Like I said, when I played the closed beta, I thought it was pretty damn close to being done. The publisher said it will divert resources elsewhere, specifically the X Divine and Rainbow Six franchise, which kind of surprises me. They're diverting it to the Rainbow Six franchise, considering the fact that Rainbow Six has been doing very good on its own. And like I wouldn't think that they would need too much more resources than what they already have. X Defiant, okay, I could get that one because they're really trying to get that one up and off the ground. The Division Heartland was set in a wake of a disastrous pandemic that ravaged the fictional flyover town of Silver Creek. In the multiplayer game developed by Red Storm Entertainment, players will have to cope with an ever-changing culmination, new survival obligations, and deadly nighttime cycles in the free-to-play spin-off of the Division franchise. Which that right there basically does encapsulate the entirety of the gameplay, and it was a lot of fun. It was like a 3 or 4 day beta that I played. Ubisoft made big showings of Heartland in the Division Day event last year and conducted closed playtesting of the game. But it appears the publisher is following the direction of many other publishers who are canceling in development projects or giving up on free-to-play live service games, which makes sense because the market has been saturated with live service games, and those are games that, hey, log in every day, get your rewards. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. And to me, a lot of live service games definitely feels like a second job instead of something that is enjoyable. In recent months, multiple AAA publishers and studios have canceled their in-development live service games. That includes long in development The Last of Us Online by Naughty Dog, which, to me, personally, it doesn't make sense to make a Last of Us like online multiplayer game because The Last of Us, in my opinion, is definitely like a very good narrative-driven single-player experience. So doing that, it doesn't make sense to do a live service game. And Blizzard Entertainment's Untitled Fantasy Survival game just last week, which that's not much of a loss right there because with Microsoft taking over Activision Blizzard, it makes sense that they're going to go through, look at the titles that they're working on as of right now, reshuffle the deck, and get rid of the ones that aren't going to make money. Microsoft just ended further development in Redfall in line with the closure of Arcane Austin, which I already talked about that when they did a bunch of closures there. But the one thing that does make me question the Redfall closure is what are they going to do to make things right with the individuals that did purchase basically the season pass for Redfall with the other, like the promised additional heroes. So it just kind of makes me scratch my head what Microsoft's planning on doing, whether it's going to be like something along the lines of like potentially a gift card for those individuals, or maybe a free game. But even then, like that to me doesn't sit right. Still, the Division Heartland's cancellation stands out considering the publisher's commitment to troubled projects like Skull and Bones, which is the first quadruple A title, by the way. Which is, and I think the biggest thing, right? The Skull and Bones right here. The biggest problem with that is they just can't. They can't cancel it. Why? Because they got into bed with, I believe it was the government of wherever Singapore, wherever the game was developed at for Ubisoft, and they had to release the game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like that's ultimately why they just were like, well, here you go, and then tried to sell it as a quadruple A title when it's what 2 months, 3 months after the release they were selling it for $35, so basically half off, which has been a decade-long development. And the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, which I really want to see a Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake because, in my opinion, granted, I am, in my 30s, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time was a game I played on the PlayStation 2 as a teenager, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was such a great game. But diverting more resources to XDefiant may be just what that delayed. So substantially reworking Tom Clancy game needs. See, like I said, XDefiant, okay, I get that. It's a much newer title. Like Tom Clancy's game, they got a dedicated team that's been working on it. It doesn't make sense to divert people in there. If that, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, granted, it has had a significant like resurgence as of the last like year. But it's still a solid game, and it's been out for like 8 years. Ubisoft has two other announced the Division projects in the work: the Division Resurgence, a free-to-play multiplayer third-person shooter mobile game, and the Division 3, which I feel I don't think that a Division Resurgence mobile game is going to do that well. Now, and unless they think that people playing Homeland or Heartland, whatever this one's called, Heartland, is taken away from the Division 3, which potentially it could, depending on when the Division 3 comes out and when Heartland comes out. Because, like I said, when I played it back months ago, I thought it was coming out within like a couple months of us closed beta testing it, when in fact they canceled it. Massive Entertainment and Ubisoft confirmed was in the works last September. The Division Heartland is one of the many cancellations Ubisoft has confirmed in recent years. In 2023, the company canceled 3 unannounced titles along with Immortals Phoenix Rising 2, which I only know about Immortals Phoenix Rising because like I've heard it's a great game. Don't get me wrong, but it's always on sale. So that's why I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me to keep pushing these games that sometimes they're just not going to work. The year prior, / 4 in development projects that weren't publicly announced yet. Ubisoft's lineup for the next year now includes Assassin's Creed Shadows, officially revealed earlier today, Rainbow Six Mobile, Star Wars Outlaws, The Division Resurgence, and XDefiant. So it looks like out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, so 2 of them are going to be mobile, which I mean I get. And then on top of that, I will admit I did watch the Assassin's Creed Shadows trailer. It looks so good. I'm not going to hold my breath. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed, but a Rainbow Six mobile game and the Division Resurgence, which is going to be the other mobile game, I don't play mobile games. I'm just going to be for real with you guys because like when I'm not playing games, I don't want to play a mobile game. To me, it's just like it's basically like a diet version of video games. I don't like it. I much rather get all like the full use of out of everything I play. And I think that's it. So this is kind of interesting. We're going full screen. So like it to me it's interesting that they are basically completely scrapping the Division Heartland and going away with it because like I said, I thought it was almost done. Um, Obviously, it was not, but it does make sense that they're going to try to get away from live service games because they live service games haven't been doing well over the last couple of years. Um, Let me know down in the comment section, how do you guys feel about that? Do you think like live service games are potentially a thing of the past, or do you think live service games are just kind of struggling right now? It's an oversaturation in the market, and in the coming years, we're going to have, of course, more live service games released. Anyways, you guys, don't forget to mash that like button, subscribe. It really does help out. We are on our way to 8,000 subscribers, and I can't do it without you guys. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Till next time, I'll catch you guys later.